Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am continuing on with my makeup collection. Today I'm going to do blushes. Anyways, let's get right into it. So I have two MAC blush palettes here. These are really awesome. I love buying these kind of palettes to pop my blushes into instead of having individuals, because it just makes it so easy to pick up a pan. You can see right through the lids, you can see exactly what colors there are and pick the one that you like best. They're also like, these MAC ones are not super pricey actually. They're not too bad. I want to say they're like, I don't know why $16 is coming to mind or so, and you get 6 pans here. Obviously they're only guaranteed to kind of fit MAC blushes, but I think these are a great idea. If you don't know how to depot MAC blushes, it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna grab a pan. I just depotted one last night actually that I bought in a just in a pan here. So all you do is you'll find that the blush sits right in here. There's this little section that you have to basically take apart. Now it's a lot easier here because I've already done it, but if you just take a butter knife or something like that and dig it in between these two layers and pop this out, then you're already halfway there. So you can already take this packaging and be done with it. And then what you do is your blush will sit here. I just take it to the bottom and I take a lighter and I just tilt it and hold the flame to it just till it burns a small hole through the pan. And then I just take something like a pencil or a pen or something like that and kind of press on it, and you'll just be able to pop the blush right out. So it's not a hard process. The only thing I don't love about it is that, like, obviously these are glued into the bottom there, so you will have like a sticky kind of glue on the bottom of your blush pan. But if I'm just popping it into one of these, it's not a big problem. I don't notice it at all. But when I was trying to pop them out to kind of make sure I knew the name of every blush, I was like, oh geez, I forgot that some of these are like sticky and a little bit hard to get out. But I think it's an awesome idea. And you can back to MAC these pots here, even though you haven't technically used the entire blush or anything like that. You can count these towards your back to MAC. So anyways, that was a bit of a weird, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but so these are my first, there's actually only 5 in here that are blushes. This one in the middle is one of the, it's like a contour shade. It's called Shade Stir. So I just bought that in a single and popped it in here because I only had one space left. But basically I've got 5 other blushes in here. So this first one here is called Margin. Let me actually like open these up and stuff. So this one's called Margin. This is a really common, popular blush from the MAC blush line. So this is described as being like a peach with gold shimmer, and it's a frost. So it's got a nice kind of satiny feel. And let me swatch these. My hands are so dry, so nothing is like swatching on them very well. I think you can see that though. It's just like a really nice kind of shimmery peachy pink color. I really like this one actually. It goes with like most makeup looks you're gonna do. It's just a really good one. The next one down here is called Springsheen, and it's described as like a golden tawny peach, and it's a sheer tone shimmer. A lot of the MAC blushes that I have are like that sheer tone shimmer where they're like, they're not super pigmented, and they also have like a nice shine to them. But they're not too glittery or anything like that. So that is Springsheen right beside Margin there. So it's a little bit of a brighter pink than, or kind of like a pinky coral really, compared to Margin, but they are like fairly similar overall. So my next one is Prism. That's Prism up here. So this is described as a muted pinkish brown, and it's a matte blush actually. I do like MAC matte blushes, but they're not, I prefer their satiny and sheer tone shimmers over their mattes, but they still are nice. This one I actually toyed with kind of giving away just because I have to work pretty hard to get this to show up on my skin actually. Like you can see it's just a nice pinky shade there. But even though it swatches pretty good there, when I'm actually using a brush with it, it's a little bit hard to see on my cheeks, but it is pretty, but it's just not like a super obvious blush on me. And then the next one is Cubic. Cubic over here is a satin. It's described as a soft muted pink, and once again it's actually pretty similar to Prism, except for this one is like a little more pink and a little less brown than Prism, but you can see swatch, they're like pretty similar. So the last one I have in here is Trace Gold. So this is another sheer tone shimmer. This one's described as being like a gold shimmer, and that's exactly what it is. It's really pretty. It honestly would probably work well as a highlight for somebody who's of like medium skin tone. I don't know why I never use it as a highlighter actually. I usually just use it as like a blush or a blush topper. But it is really pretty. It's just like a goldy kind of coppery shade. So yeah, I've got quite a love for MAC blushes. So this is my second palette. So the first shade that I had is called Melba. This is another really popular one from MAC's blush line. It's described as like a soft coral peach. It is a matte blush, although it does have little shimmers in it, but it's definitely like more matte than shimmer. So I'll swatch that one here. So that's it there. I kind of swatched that kind of a little bit heavily, but it's definitely just like a really pretty pinky coral shade. So this one down here is definitely like my most cool tone blush I own for sure. I don't own many cool tone blushes just because I am so warm toned. So sometimes cool tone blushes can look a little odd on me. But I think everybody needs like at least one cool tone blush in their collection if they're warm toned. So this one is Peony Petal. It's described as like a bright blue pink, obviously meaning that it's like a blue base pink. It's not like a blue pink. And it's a satin. So this one is really pretty. I don't wear this one a ton, but when I do a kind of cool tone look, it's nice to have this around. So this next one is probably one of my favorite blushes that I own. So this is Modern Mandarin. It's described as being like a red orange. It's definitely not too red. Like don't let the name make it seem like it's like you know, you're gonna have just like this apple red color on your cheeks. It's very orange to me. But if you love orange blushes, this is a really good one. This is a satin, and let me swatch that out. So that's it there. It's so pretty. It's definitely one of my favorite blushes. And then below that one is Ambering Rose, which is described as like, it's like a rosy brown with gold shimmer in it. And it is a sheer tone shimmer. This one actually isn't available anymore. They discontinued it. It's like really unique. I don't have many blushes that are like this deep of a red kind of color. But it's really pretty. It's got a lot, doesn't like swatch fantastically, but it has a lot of red in it. Like a lot of red and shimmer to it. But yeah, I do like that one a lot. And then I have my last two that are in here. So this one is another pretty popular one. This is called Sunbasque. It's kind of like a lighter version of Ambering Rose. Like it's not as red, just a little bit lighter in tone. So this is like a gilded peach with pearl, and it's another sheer tone shimmer. You can see that I really like those ones. And this one's just got such nice shimmer to it. I really like this one too, actually. And there it is there. And then the bottom one that I have in this bottom right corner here, it's another one of those really orangey blushes. So this is called Peaches, and it's just like a pure peach, and it is a sheer tone. So every once in a while, instead of like a matte one, they'll have like a sheer tone without the shimmer in it. So this is like the peach blush that I will use if I don't want to have any kind of like shimmer or like glitter in it like Modern Mandarin has. well, it has, Modern Mandarin has more like shimmer, not really glitter to it. But anyways, if I'm looking for more of a matte version, I will use Peaches. It's another really pretty blush. These really don't, like, blushes don't have a tendency to like swatch really well, which sucks. But I mean, that would take me forever if I was to like put every one of these blushes on and do like a swatch like that of it on my face. That would be so crazy. So those are my main MAC blushes. I do have one or two more. So this is I have the Mineralize blush in Warm Soul. Oh my gosh, can I open that? This one is another like cult classic. So it's just like, once again, it's kind of, it reminds me of Trace Gold in that it's very like gold and shimmery and very highlighty. But it's a little bit too dark probably to use as a highlighter, but it is just so pretty. You get a little bit of color and then like a lot of glitter and gleam in it, and it's just so pretty. It's one of those blushes that like doesn't swatch very well. Like you really need to put it on your face to see how beautiful it is. But oh, I really do like this blush. So you've probably seen the next couple products I'm going to talk about in my highlighter videos. Like this is the Becca Split Pan. So I talked about Prosecco Pop, which is the highlighter in my highlighter video. But I do have the blush. So this is Amaretto. It's a really pretty blush. It's just like, it's like a golden bronzy kind of orangey color. And it's just really pretty. It's definitely like a satin. It doesn't have a ton of glitter in it or anything like that. But it's definitely not super matte, I would say. But this is a good blush. Like Becca puts out like super pigmented blushes. Like it's kind of crazy. This one's not the best example, but when I show you a couple of my other Becca single blushes, it's like, it's just crazy. I have the Afterglow palette by Becca. So these two are blushes down here. This is Wild Honey, which is really pretty. I don't know why I'm so into like brownie, orangey blushes. And then this one over here, this is Flower Child, right? Yeah, this is Flower Child. And this one is so pretty. Like if you want a really vibrant pigmented pink blush, like that is the blush for you. I know one of the split pans came out with Flower Child, but I think the highlighter side was Champagne Pop or something, and I already have the full size of Champagne Pop, so I didn't want to get that one, but I do wish I had this Flower Child in the full version, because I mean, it is a little bit hard to get like your blush brush in this tiny little pan here, but I do like this palette, and it has just like two of their best blushes in my opinion. So the next one I have is one of the Laura Mercier Baked Blush Illuminates. This is in the color Rosé, and it is really pretty. It's like a huge compact though for like one blush. Like, look how pretty that is. Oh my god, it's like this nice marbled swirl of colors. And this blush is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I bet you it's not going to swatch well though at all. There it is there. I'm going to start swatching, I think, on my like forearm here, just because my hand is getting so sore from swatching. So that's it there. So this is either going to be the kind of blush that you love or you hate. If you hate really glittery blushes, like do not buy this, stay far away from it. You definitely get like basically like an equal mix of pigment and glitter in this, but I just think it's so pretty. Like I don't have anything else like this blush. So it is a really pricey blush, but for me it's worth it because it's just one of a kind. I have nothing else like it, but just be very aware that there's a ton of glitter in this, and if you do not like glitter, stay away from this blush. Next one I have is my, I have one of the Too Faced Sweetheart Perfect Flush Blush. This is in Peach Beach. The packaging on these, again, is really kind of crazy for just a blush, but They're really pretty. Like I actually like the packaging on this because I usually have this one on kind of display. So you basically get 3 different sections in this. This is like a lighter gold, this one is a pink, and this is like kind of a coppery gold. You know, you can keep them separate or you can swirl them together, which is what I usually do. And then you just get this really nice kind of pinky gold blush. There it is there. It's really pretty. It's definitely got a lot of shimmer to it. It's not matte by any means, but these are really pretty blushes. I do enjoy these. So now we're finally kind of getting into my NARS blushes. I definitely do have some other ones, but I'm going to do my NARS kind of palettes first. So this is the Narcissist Dual Intensity Cheek Palette. If you watched my other video on the NARS Filtered and Unfiltered 2 palette, gosh, I forget what it's called now, then you know I spoke about this palette in it, and oh my gosh, those actually look really, really pretty swatched. I could use those as really good eyeshadows. So I do like this palette. I'm telling you right now that it swatches a lot better than it does when you're using a blush brush. I can't believe how well those just swatch, because I was just gonna say I usually prefer the normal NARS blushes over the dual intensity ones because I think they're more pigmented than the dual intensity ones. But that looks, it sounds kind of crazy for me saying that after I just swatch those and they look so beautiful. But I do like this palette. These 3 shades are actually pretty different when you swatch them out. And then this one, first one, obviously isn't a, you know, a blush per se, but you could use it as an eyeshadow, you could use it as a highlight, you could use it as a blush topper. Like, there's tons of good uses for this. And it just has like a really nice shimmer to it without looking chalky or anything like that. So this is the palette that I just recently did a review on. This is the Narcissist Unfiltered 1 Cheek Palette. I really like this palette. It's really pretty. I'm gonna swatch. So there's the swatches there. Ooh, let me get back. Oh my gosh, like look at Exhibit A. How crazy that is. It's so funny because the other palette actually swatches better, the other NARS palette, but this one applies to the cheek better in my opinion. These are the kind of normal regular blush line, whereas the other ones are the dual intensities. I love NARS blushes. They are just so pigmented. They're long wearing, they're not chalky. They just sit on the skin really well. They've got like, whether they're a matte or a shimmer, they just have like this nice like smooth feel to them, and they've just got awesome, really kind of unique shades. Like, I mean, where are you gonna find a blush shade like this? So my next couple blushes are also from another palette that I recently did a review video on. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Surreal Light Palette. That's a lot of words for palette. Anyways, you get 2 of their blushes in here. You get Surreal Glow and Surreal Effect. So you get these 2 up here are both blushes. These are not going to swatch very well. I will like totally say now. It's not too bad. Let me close this so I'm like not in the shot here because I'm in pajamas. So this one's definitely like a light peachy shade, and this is like a rosy pink. Obviously these ones have a lot of sheen, a lot of glitter in a good way. To me they're very smooth. They are a little bit powdery when you swatch them, but not when you really use a brush with them. I like these 2 blushes. They're definitely more unique than a lot of other blushes that I have. Just like the formula of Hourglass powders is just really beautiful. And it's not replicated by a lot of other brands. Like, I don't find a lot of other people have been able to have such smooth powders that have such a natural, beautiful like glow to them. So I do like these 2 little blushes in here. So I have 3 of the Milani Baked blushes. These are really affordable blushes. You can get them from the drugstore. You can get Milani in a lot of Canadian stores now. Like, you can get them at Walmart, trying to think if Shoppers does. I know Lawton sells Milani. Trying to think, but Milani is not super hard to find. I will say with the Milani brand in Canadian stores, like it takes a long time for you to get like the new releases. I find like I'll always see something, I'll see like a review video or see that it's out, I'll go look for it and it won't see it in stores, and then finally, like feels like months later, by the time everybody is like over it, it like comes out. And then let me tell you the colors of these. This one is Corallina. So they've got, they're obviously baked. They got that nice dome shape. They're marbled. They're really pretty to look at. And I really don't mind the packaging. Like this really pretty gold packaging. This middle one here is probably like the most well-recognized blush from this line. This is Luminoso. And then the final one that I have is like a pinky shade, and this is Berry Amore. And so that is them swatched there. You can see that there's definitely two different finishes in these blushes. You have these two that are kind of like marbled with different colors in the swirls, and they're very, very, very glittery. They're probably the closest kind of blush that I have to that Laura Mercier one that's super, super glittery. So these two, obviously, if you don't like glitter, stay away from them. And then Luminoso is definitely a lot different. It doesn't have that marbled effect really, and it is definitely more of like a pretty sheen of a blush. This one I'd have to say is probably like the closest in consistency and texture and stuff like that to the Hourglass blushes, where they just have like a really nice glow to them. They're very soft, they're very smooth. This is like a really great affordable blush. If you love like peachy kind of goldy blushes, this is a really good one. I actually really like these three blushes. So I have two of the Urban Decay Afterglow blushes. They came out with these a little while ago. They're supposed to be like a long wearing blush. It says like 8-hour powder blush. I have the first one is in Video, and then the second one is in Obsessed. This is kind of like my other cool tone blush. It's pretty similar to Peony Petal actually, really, when you think about it. But these are really nice. I like these. They're really pigmented. They are really long wearing. The only thing I would say is that I wasn't super into the color selection in the line. So these are my two full-size Becca mineral blushes. I have Songbird, which came out with the original line of blushes. Oh my gosh, I can't open it. Ugh. So that's it right there. Decent amount of product. You get a mirror in it, and then they just are so pigmented. Like, I'm just gonna take like a little swipe there and do that. And they're really pretty. They're like a really satiny, shimmery blush. I will say though, you have to be so careful when you dip a brush into these. Like, brushes pick these up so heavily. Like, you have to barely touch it, or you're gonna go way overboard with these. They are a little bit powdery. You can I don't know if you can see the powder kind of catching in the corners here. So they're a little bit messy, but if you are looking for like a really pretty and super pigmented blush, like that is the blush for you. And then a little while later, they put out some more shades, but these are from the Luminous blush line. And this is Camellia. And this one is really pretty. Oh, yeah, I remember each one that came out in this line. I think there was 4 or 5 of them were just so beautiful. Like, I wanted to get them all. But I decided to go for one that I didn't really have, like, a lot of other colors like that. Like, I don't have a lightish pink that's super, like, shimmery and satiny like that. So these are really pretty. I remember there's an orange one, I think, called Tiger Lily in this line that oh my gosh, I just love it. It's so pretty. I might get it one day, but these blushes are really pricey. I think they're like $40 a pan. And like, you get a decent amount of product. Like, you get 6 grams in this, but you know, it's hard to justify the price for these, but they are really good. So these two NARS palette, well, they're not really palettes actually, they're just like duos. So these are part of the dual intensity blush lines that they put out. I had my eyes on these for a long time. I don't know why I still have like the insert in there. I should probably just get rid of that. These are so pretty, but they're so expensive. They're, I think, $54 a piece, which is just so crazy. So I did end up getting both of these when they were doing the 20% off sale. So I found it justifiable if I could get 20% off. But you just get two really beautiful shades in here. Obviously, this gold is more of a highlighter than a blush. Oh, but it's just so pretty. And the blush in this, again, another one of those really nice orange blushes that I like. These are really beautiful. Like if you are looking for something that gives you like no powder kick up and just goes on the skin really smoothly, these blushes are so good for that. The second one I have, did I tell you what this one was called? Frenzy? I'm not sure. That gold and orange one. And then this one is called Fervor. And I really love both these blushes. And I especially love this one. Like I don't have anything else really like that. So that's them all swatched there. They're just really beautiful. I really like these. You do have to work harder, like I said, with your brush to get the pigmentation to where you want it to be. But it's not like, it's not tough. It's not like, it doesn't like it makes it not worth them, but they're just really nice, but they're just a little bit more work to build them up, but I still really love those. Okay, so all the rest of my blushes are NARS blushes. I have a thing for NARS blushes. They are just so beautiful, and they're always putting out these little collections where you get like, you know, they'll bring in 2 new blushes or something like that that are limited edition, and they're always just so pretty that it's just hard not to get them. They are pricey, but for blushes, I mean, they last forever. Like I don't think I've ever hit pan on a blush yet. So, you know, you're gonna have them for a while. I'll start with like my original, the first one I ever got. This is Nars Orgasm. Everybody knows this shade. It's supposed to be like a universally like flattering shade for everyone. And I think it pretty much is really, like if I was gonna hit pan on any of my blushes, it'll be this one pretty soon, I would think. I've had this for a while. So it's definitely like a darker pink with like gold, a lot of gold and gold shimmer in it. And it's really pretty. Oh my gosh, this does not swatch well. Or I can't tell if like my fingers are just like so stained, but that's it there. So you can tell like that's just gonna look pretty on everybody. Oh, it's so nice. Now I will say, while I usually like love NARS packaging and stuff, and I do really like the look of this packaging when they're brand new, these get dirty so quick and they look so gross. Like this looks so gross. Ugh, like it's just like a black with the white, but it just collects and you can actually scrape it off, which is really gross. I guess I could probably technically take a makeup wipe, maybe. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, I just learned something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't know that before right now. I can just take a makeup wipe, oh my gosh, this keeps slipping out of my hand, and clean this whole front up. Oh my gosh, that looks so much better. Okay, so sorry I discovered that on camera, but that was really cool. Okay, because I was always like so grossed out by how dirty these get, but I will wash all these off. I would have done that had I known that before this video, but yeah. So the next one I have is called Amore, and I will open it up, show it to you. So it's just basically more of like a matte, dusty pink with a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's really pretty. So then I have Luster, which is another pretty popular one from NARS. This again is like that orangey kind of brownie shade that I love, but it's got a lot of gold in it. It's definitely, it's like just what its name is. It's like a good luster shade. So you can see it's so pretty. There's so much gold in it. This is one of my favorite blushes from NARS, like hands down. It's just so smooth. The glitter isn't chunky. It's just like blends in so well with the skin. It's just a really beautiful color that I think would work so well on a lot of people. And then the next one I have is Madly. This is another pretty popular one. It's kind of like a lighter version of Luster. I do like this one, but it doesn't show up like a ton on me. Like you can, I don't even know if you can see that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's, geez, it's so light. I don't even think I really noticed how light that was before. But this is good more for like a blush topper. Like you'll get a little bit of like a peachy tan color to your cheeks, but it'll just give you this nice sheen and like glitter without being too much. It's a pretty color, but definitely better for fairer skin tones. Like somebody who has darker skin than me, like you wouldn't even see that on them and they'd probably just kind of look ashy. So this one is Torrid. This is another really pretty one. Oh, I just love like almost every one of my NARS blushes. So this one is like a corally pink shade and it has a lot of glitter in it. Again, kind of gold glitter. It's actually pretty close to Orgasm, except for it's more of a corally color than the pink. But it's another really pretty one that I think it would be almost universally flattering. I can't think of anybody that this wouldn't look good on. And then the next one is Deep Throat. This is another really pretty one actually. I wear this one a lot. And this is another really popular one from the brand. So it's like a light pink and it's got a nice sheen. It's got a little bit of glitter in it. It's a pretty shade. This one is Unlawful. And a few of the blushes in the NARS line have like super like big glitter particles in them. This is one of them. But I really like this one. It's kind of like a pinky brown, but it's got a ton of glitter in it. Like equal parts glitter to equal part like pigment. Like it's really pretty. But if you are somebody who has like larger pores or a lot of texture on your cheeks and you usually stick with like maybe more matte blushes or something like that, like definitely don't go for this because the glitter is just going to accentuate things that you don't want to be seen. But otherwise this is a really pretty blush. And then I have Sin. And this one is super unique. I don't have anything else that looks even remotely like this. It's just like a really nice kind of dark gray toned purple shade. So let me swatch this one. So that's it there. I have to be really careful with this blush because it definitely doesn't go with everything. And it's definitely like a different look on the cheeks. Like, okay, so we're down to our last two. So this is Isadora. This is the newest NARS blush that I bought. This came out with the Sarah Moon collection, which was the collection basically just before they have the one they have out right now. And it's just, once again, so pretty. This one is different because it's kind of like a dusty pink, but it kind of has like a duochrome shift to it. Like if you can see there, it kind of has like a pinky purpley duochrome shift to it. And I don't really have anything else that's that pigmented that has that duochrome shift to it blush wise. So I think it's really pretty. And I saw it and I was like, oh geez, I don't have anything else like that. So I gotta get it. And then my last one is, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say this, Goulue? G-O-U-L-U-E, Goulue, I have no idea. This is like a little mini version. And this came out with the, I think they gave this to you for your VIB, that's it right there, VIB renewal or something like that. It was some kind of a VIB gift, maybe your birthday gift. I can't remember what exactly it came out with, but I remember I got this for free. And I think that's pretty cool because like even though it's just a little tiny blush, like blushes last you forever. So you know what? I was like pretty impressed with getting something like that. I feel like you usually get like mascaras and eyeliners and stuff like that, or like the reject lipstick or lip gloss shades. So it was really nice to get like a nice little mini NARS blush. And it's actually a really pretty color that I think is like fairly universally flattering. Yeah, so that is my blush collection. I thought this video was probably going to be quicker than it was. I didn't think I really had that many blushes, but I guess I have a decent collection of them. Anyways, I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!